So what I'm going to try and do, because I've had lots of enquiries on how I prepare my plan of a drawing for a model bus to make it compatible to fit into Cricut. Now, I use Serif Page Plus 9. Now, this isn't available from Serif anymore. I think they've disbanded them or anything like that. But it's now been switched over to Affinity, so they have different software publishing things. You might use Publisher or you might use CorelDRAW or something like that. I'm not sure how to use them. This is the only system I've ever used it on, but I'm hoping that it'll be a quick guide to show you roughly how I do it. And this, hopefully I'll show you how I do it. It's quite simple-ish. So all I do is I've opened it up, and now I'm going to insert my picture, which I've called NCT351. This is a scratch board I've already started. So make sure your plan goes into your page like that. And what I do, I zoom in until I've got a nice big image like that. So next thing to do is click on the quick rectangle, line it up with as near as you can to the shape of the bus. And I know it angles up at the back, so if you try and make it fit exactly where it starts before it angles up. Now get rid of the black border and then click on red. I only do red because then I can see what I'm working with. And now you've got your first square. The drawing's not going to be spot on because obviously it's hand drawn. So your squares are going to dictate your bus. So just try and get it as close as you can, but obviously it's not going to match up perfectly. So anyway, we've done the first square, and then we do the other squares, fill that gap in there down to there, like that. Get rid of the border, red line. And basically this is what you do until you've filled all your model bus. I'm not going to go into everything because it'll take too long, but this is just to give you a general idea how I do the plans for the model buses. So we've just angled that to make it fit nice in that angled shape at the back there, and we pull that out to there. So now we've got a full bus. I know it's not completed at the back, but roughly that's how I do it. So the next stage after that is to left click off the screen, left click, hold your mouse, drag it, and then group them together. So all this is now all stuck together. I mean, you could just do a square up to there if you want to do a separate back and then build it up. But that's the way I do it because I find it gets the proper shapes that I need. The next thing to do on your red square, because you need to do the windows now, is right click, hover over format, and then transparency. Click on the solid transparency about 52%, OK it, and now you can see your picture underneath. Next thing to do is get your quick rectangle and then line it up with your line as near as you can, draw the square out like so, and then we'll get rid of that outline, go into the corner radius at the top, and then if you watch the white square you can see the corner start to curl. Do that until you've got the right shape of corner that you're happy with. Once you've done that, left click, right click, copy, right click, paste, and drop them windows in every window that you've got until you've done all your windows. And of course for your door, that'll just be a normal rectangle, just like that. Get rid of the border. I've done these in white because when you do it back into solid transparency, it will, if you did these in red, they'll just disappear. We'll do that little window at the back just to show you how to do that. So copy and paste, drag it up to your line it, wait till this arrow turns like that, then drag it, and you've got your small window. Now, if we're doing wheel arches, you can use the round tool, the Cricut clips, or I use the quick moon. So basically drag that in, get rid of the background, keep it white so we can see what we're working with, spin it round until we get into that line like that. Keep matching it up until you're happy with that. Drag the sides out like so, until you get to the edge of the wheel arch. Of course, drag it down and that will give you the shape of the wheel arch, like so. And you've now got a nice curve for your wheel arch. Rectangle, quick rectangle again, just to fill down to make the square part of your wheel arch, like so. Just keep tweaking it until you're happy that you've got the right shape of wheel arch. I'm just doing this quickly so it gives you a rough idea. And then fill that gap in like that so we've got no gap. Like so. And that up to there. And that across to there. Now you have a wheel arch. So what I do next, after all the windows are done, is click off the screen, drag it, and then group the objects together. So now all this is grouped together. And then right click, format, transparency, take it back to solid, like so. Okay, and now you have that. And then the next step I do is right click and copy this, just the whole bus that you've just done. Then paste it, bring it down to your bottom image, click on arrange, flip, and there you go. And that fits into there. Now it's not going to be a perfect match because with drawings, obviously it's not going to match up perfectly, but this top image that you've started with is your main image you'll use for all the sides of the buses. So that way you get everything spot on. Just right click, format, transparency, about 52, well 54, 3, whichever you want until you get that. Ungroup it so you can edit it. Get rid of the door, so delete the door. Copy and paste your window like so. Drag it over to where your cab window is, so you're making a cab window. Drag that into shape, you now have your cab window. If your vehicle has got a panel there where the stairs go and you've copied it from that side, of course you'll have a window there. So all you do is delete that window. So off screen, left click, drag, group together, format, transparency, take it back to solid. And we now have two sides of the bus. So what I normally do at this stage is save the whole project so you can come back and work at it at a later stage, or group them together. So off screen, left click, hold and drag and group them all together and save that as your outer shell file. But also as a backup, save these individually. So save this one as your passenger side outer shell, driver side outer shell. This way, when you import them into Cricut, you'll be able to get the right measurements for how you want the bus to be. So when you measure what, the plan that you've been working on, and you know what size the bus is, then you can set these plans to what size you want to fit into Cricut. This way, you import these individually. So that way, you get all your sizes correct then, so you can match them up. I'll show you that in another video. So the next step, once you've done all your chassis, which is basically just quick square like that, filled in red, and then the same for this here, use your square tools to get the shape for the staircase, which goes on the top in white, and the same for when you do the downstairs. Get a quick box, and what I normally do to get the wheels matched up is slide that up like that, get a white box from there, put that just either side of the wheel arch, and then just drag it out slightly, copy and paste, and then drop it down to that side like that, and then select it, so you save it all, drag it down, and when you've done the same for the back wheels as well, then you know exactly where your wheel arches are going to go. And for your door, if I just format this transparency so I can see what I'm doing, like that. Oh, helps if you do highlight it first, 2%, like that. Just another square box, and all I do for the door, where the door is just do that like that, and take it just off the red bit, so that when it's put back to transparency, you can see with you've got your cutout for where your platform's going to go like that, and the same for the wheels as well. So now all that's done, you need to do your inner shell. So basically save all this file as your outer shell and then come back and work on this project. So we ungroup it, we use the square tool again. So what we do, we just enlarge it so we can see what we're doing. Use your quick rectangle tool, just draw inside the window line and just give yourself like a 0.1 border so you can see what you're working with. Just drag it until you're happy with what border you've got for your insert, which is going to hold your glazing, like so. And then your corner radius tool, just drag that round until you've got the right shape like that. And then copy, paste, oops, sometimes you have to make sure you copy your window, not the whole bus. Copy, paste, and drop that into there, and do that on every single window. Then when you've done that, highlight the window you've just done, use your crop tool, and just drag that window over. Just crop that window so you can see the bottom window. Left click on the bottom window, delete it off the picture, click back on to your new window, drag the crop tool until you can see the edge of your window again, and you now have the inner window for your inner shell, and which holds your glazing. Do that on every single window, and then save that file as your inner shell. So NCT351 inner shell. Once you've done that, then what I suggest again is save the sides like this as separate files. So 351 passenger side inner shell, and the same for this one, NCT351 driver side inner shell. Then that way you can import them with the same measurements into Cricut and you get everything the same size. Well, I hope I've covered everything on that, and basically that's how I do my plans to get them ready for Cricutting. So I'll try and make another video and show you how to put these, what you've done, into Cricut. And I hope that it's helped, with how I do it. So thank you very much for watching.